A girl and a smuggler are trying to get out of a city full of zombie fungi and rebels. Hello everyone, Cinema Jack is in touch and this is a short retelling of the 5th episode of the zombie series One of Us, filmed based on the legendary game The Last of the Us. This is the best series about the post-apocalyptic world in recent times, so who stumbled upon this video from the recommendations, I advise you to watch the beginning of the links in the description. And I ask you, shortcomers, to support this video as much as possible with likes and comments so that it flies into the recommendations of as many people as possible. To do this, slap a like and most importantly, be sure to write any comment, it will greatly help the promotion of the video. And as soon as the retelling gets 1,000 likes and 100 comments, I release a sequel. Enjoy watching. Residents of Kansas City celebrate the overthrow of Phaedrus, take to the streets, kill and torture former soldiers and look for Phaedrus accomplices for prosecution. Two such collaborators, Henry Burrell and his brother Sam, elude capture by the revolutionaries. Leader Kathleen Coughlin and her Lieutenant Perry interrogate several captured collaborators about Henry's whereabouts, claiming that she will give them a fair trial if they tell her. One of the collaborators eventually reveals that he is dating Adolstein, whom Kathleen didn't even know was a collaborator. She orders her men to look for Henry, despite Perry's objections that there are more important things to do, and then orders Perry to kill the informants. Meanwhile, Henry and Sam meet Adolstein and hide in the attic of an abandoned building, although they realize that due to lack of food and ammunition, this situation will be temporary. To help Sam pass the time, Henry gives him art supplies to decorate the room. 10 days pass, and Henry and Sam are almost out of food. In the end, Henry realizes that Adolstein has been captured and most likely killed, and decides that they will have to fight their way through on their own. However, as they leave the building, they witness a truck crashing into a nearby laundry. Henry watches as the driver Joel easily deals with the attackers. Intrigued, he tells Sam that he has a new plan. Without taking their eyes off the man and his companion, Henry and Sam follow them into an abandoned high-rise, trying not to make noise on the glass trail they left. At gunpoint, will not be both, while Henry tells a bewildered Joel that they just want to help. After a brief moment of confusion about Joel's instinctively threatening tone of voice, which Ellie insists is just his way of talking, they lower their weapons. The group shares the food that Joel and Ellie brought from Bill's house, taking their time to introduce themselves to each other before Henry explains that he can help Joel find a way out of town. In the morning, Henry tells Joel about what happened in Kansas City 10 days ago. After years of mistreatment of the residents of the KZ, the people rebelled and overthrew Phaedrus. Joel quickly realizes that Henry does not belong to either the Fedra or the revolutionaries. Henry admits that he was a collaborator, a person who exchanged information from the Fedra for the sake of better living conditions. Joel refuses to work with the rat, but Henry points out that he knows the city and, therefore, is the most reliable option for Joel to get out of here, noting that he and Sam, in turn, need Joel's experience with weapons to eliminate all the dangers in their path. Henry admits that he is not violent, has never killed anyone, and that the weapon they pointed at Joel and Ellie was actually unloaded. Noticing that Ellie and Sam are chatting over her collection of jokes, Joel agrees to work with them. Sam and Henry find out that the highway is completely controlled by Kathleen, but they can elude the revolutionaries by taking advantage of the tunnels that run under the city, getting out in a residential area and using a pedestrian bridge to get to safety. He admits that there is a potential danger in the tunnels. Phaedrus forces drove the infected underground 15 years ago, and although one soldier told Henry that they eventually cleared the tunnels, there is a small risk that some of them are still underground. At least they won't run into Kathleen's people, because they all think the tunnels are too dangerous. Joel and Ellie are doubtful, but when Henry hears that they survived the encounter with the clicker, he insists that they are the right people for this task. Besides, they don't have any other options. The group makes their way into the maintenance tunnel, where they find no signs of infected. However, they stumble upon an unusual sight, the children's room of the old survivors' bunker, filled with books and toys. They see no trace of the inhabitants, although Joel finds a child's drawing of two defenders named Danny and Iz, which leads them to assume that they were expelled by the infected many years ago. Ellie and Sam find an issue of Satch Starlight Comics, of which they are both fans, and Sam teaches Ellie to pronounce the catchphrase to stand up and survive in American Sign Language. Seeing how the children are having fun, Henry suggests that they wait in the nursery, since it will be safer to leave the tunnels after dark. While they are watching Ellie and Sam play, Joel apologizes for being rude to Henry, admits that he understands Henry's desire to protect Sam by any means, but he notes that he considers it cruel of Kathleen to send an army after them for this. Henry says that he was not entirely truthful. He used to be under the wing of Kathleen's brother, Michael, who founded the resistance movement and, by all accounts, was a great and compassionate leader. However, when Sam fell ill with leukemia, the only medicine that could cure her turned out to be in the hands of Phaedrus, and Henry had to give Phaedra something big to get this medicine. Michael. He admits that although it saved his brother, the guilt of his decision continues to haunt him. Then he notes that he sees in Joel that he was once a father and therefore understands Henry's arguments. Joel doesn't say anything, stating that it's time for them to continue. Kathleen is standing in her and Michael's nursery. Perry arrives with no news on the whereabouts of Henry or the man who killed Brian, and asks Kathleen how she's doing. Kathleen reflects on how Mike taught her not to be afraid, and tells her that the day before he died, he asked her to forgive Henry for betraying him. However, she feels that she cannot forgive, and expresses doubts that she should lead revolutionaries at all. Perry reminds her that she led them when she overthrew Phaedra, not Michael, and that he and the others will cover for her. Joel, Ellie, Henry and Sam exit the tunnels at night as planned, with Henry bragging that he was right when he said the tunnels are clean. When they make their way through a seemingly empty residential area, Orr invites two brothers to join them and go to Wyoming. Their conversation is interrupted by the shots of a sniper who shoots at them from a neighboring house. Joel goes alone to deal with the sniper himself. He manages to get into the house, but he discovers that the sniper is an old man. He begs the man standing at gunpoint to lower his rifle and let them pass, but he still aims at him and gets shot. To Joel's horror, this man, Anthony, turned out to be one of Kathleen's soldiers and radioed them about the group's location. A convoy of armored vehicles arrives, forcing Ellie, Sam and Henry to flee. Joel kills the driver of the lead truck with a sniper rifle and directs him to a neighboring house, which bursts into flames. While the group is hiding, Kathleen appears with her men and tells Henry to surrender. Henry offers to do this in exchange for Sam and Ellie being able to escape, but Kathleen refuses, since Ellie was involved in Brian's death, and Sam, his brother, heartlessly tells him that children are constantly dying. After telling Ellie and Sam to run away, Henry comes out of hiding and prepares to die at Kathleen's hands. However, before she can do this, they are interrupted by a loud crash. Turning to look at the burning house, they see the truck falling into the crater formed under it. A whole horde of infected people emerges from the hole, the very ones that Phaedra was holding back. Kathleen's forces are overwhelmed almost immediately, and all chances to contain the swarm cease when a bloat appears from the hole and begins to kill revolutionaries. Perry tells Kathleen to run before trying to fight the bloodsucker himself. His bullets turn out to be completely useless against a huge infected, who grabs Perry and kills him by tearing off his head. Ellie, Sam and Henry, using a distraction maneuver, try to escape, while Ellie has to dodge the clicker child, who climbs into the car, where she tries to hide. Joel helps them with a sniper rifle and, together with Ellie, destroys several infected who attacked Sam and Henry when they were hiding under a car. The three had almost reached the exit when Kathleen stopped them at gunpoint. However, before she can shoot, she is ambushed, where she is beaten to death by a child clicker. Joel takes them to a safe place, while the infected begin to make their way back to the city. The group wakes up in a safe motel room. Joel and Henry watch as Ellie and Sam continue to read their comics and joke about the absurdity of the motto to endure and survive. Joel repeats the previous offer or join them and go to Wyoming, and Henry agrees, noting that it will be useful for Sam. He tells Sam to go to bed, but Orr will be his to read comics again. Sam stops her and writes on his magic piece of paper, asking if Ellie is afraid, claiming that she seems fearless to him. Ellie explains that she is afraid of scorpions all the time, and then he admits that he is afraid to be left alone. Sam asks if people stay alive inside when they are infected, after which he lifts his pant leg and shows that he was bitten. Ellie shows him her own bite and claims that her blood is medicine, makes a cut on her hand and smears some of her blood on his wound, claiming that it will cure him, and agrees to stay awake with him that night. Waking up in the morning, Ellie sees that Sam is sitting. However, when she approaches him, she discovers that he has become infected overnight. Joel and Henry wake up and see Sam attacking Ellie. Henry, seeing Joel reaching for his gun, grabs it and tells him to stay away, but then shoots Sam's guns, killing him and saving Ellie. Realizing that he killed his brother, Henry turns the gun on himself, and Joel and Ellie look at what is happening in horror. When Joel buries the bodies of Sam and Henry near the motel, Alice regretfully gives Joel his things, leaves Sam's magic slate on the grave and goes towards Wyoming. Joel looks at the slate and sees that Ellie has left the words "forgive me" on it. He then picks up his things and follows her, leaving Kansas City behind.